She's the third of 5 children. She was our only girl at the time, and she was 4 years old when the accident happened. She had a fun, lively, busy personality that made it a lot of fun to be around her, but she was kind of difficult sometimes because she had such a large personality. She was the kind of girl, when we moved here to South Carolina from Seattle, we didn't know very many people, but if she'd go to visit somebody's house, she would just walk in the house like she knew them forever, and she would instantly go in, say hi, and then walk to their fridge and see what food they had to share. It was kind of awkward because it was the first time we'd meet all these people, but it made it easy to meet other people. And she would always be very quick to make friends and to get to know other people.
Now, she never met a stranger. She had the kind of personality that when she walked in a room, she would light it up. And she always knew how to make people smile and laugh. She loved to do that. She loved to make people happy. And she loved babies more than anything. And she just was, we would call her Little Mama, because everywhere she went, if she saw a baby, that was her baby, and she would want to take care of it. And she just loved babies, and she loved to dance and sing, and she loved playing with her brothers.
You could never stay mad at her for too long. It was almost impossible, because she would always just, she'd get a smile and brighten up your day, and she would say something and it didn't make much sense, but it could still make you laugh.
It was May 16th, 2011. It was a Monday, and we had some friends over for dinner. And I was leaving the house to go drive them back home and drop them off, and Ella ran outside because she wanted to ride with me, and it was about 8 o'clock, 7:45, 8 o'clock or so at this point. So she jumped in the back seat. We went and dropped off our friends, and on the way home, we were just probably maybe a mile from our house at the most, and there's a young woman, she's a friend of ours now, her name is Caitlin, and she was at a golf course that's right next to our house, and she'd been there all day at a tournament, and her job there was to provide alcohol and to have a fun party atmosphere for the golfers. And there was nobody to monitor her, and she was drinking with the golfers, so by the time the tournament ended and it was time for her to go, she was, we'd find out later, 3 times the legal limit. So when she tried to drive, she had made it just maybe a quarter mile away from the golf course, and her car swerved into our lane. We were going about 40 miles an hour, and she was going about a little over 60, and I never saw it coming. I didn't know what had happened, but she hit our car head on, and Ella was killed instantly, and I had all kinds of injuries where my femur broke through my knee, and my forearm was broken, and all the bones in my foot were broken. By far, the more concerning thought on my mind was what's going on with Ella. And I was still out of it. I didn't even realize what was going on. I thought my first inclination was that I needed to call Daisha and just let her know I was going to be a few minutes late coming home. I didn't realize how serious things were. There's a very sweet lady who held my hand throughout the ordeal. She just was the first to happen upon the scene, and she held my hand to help me get through this, and she was there until I left in the ambulance while they were trying to cut me out of the vehicle and everything. But all through this, nobody would tell me what was going on with Ella, and that's all I wanted to know. I didn't know what day of the week it was, or I didn't know anything, but I knew that Ella was with me, and nobody would say what had happened. So it was about an hour and a half later when I was in the hospital, when they were cutting off all my clothes and trying to figure out what my injuries were, and Daisha came in, and she was the one that told me that Ella didn't make it. And we kind of just had a quiet moment where we just nodded our heads at each other, trying to understand what this meant for us. And it was heartbreaking over the next couple of years, and even to this day, there are moments that are hard, where we feel the pain that Ella's not with us anymore.
Not long after Ella died, we started a foundation called the Gabriella Shumate Memorial Foundation. And part of that, what we want to accomplish with that is to bring happiness to children, to carry on Ella's memory by bringing happiness to children in the area, in the Midlands area. And one of the main things that we do every year is the Ella Stuff a Stocking program. And with that program, we're able to reach out into the community and find children that are in need and in difficult situations, and we are able to adopt them for Christmas, for the holidays, and we're able to provide things that their families might not be able to provide for them. And through this, we've been able to help a lot of children in the community every year, and we're able to not just bring joy to these families' lives, but it really brings joy to our lives, and it helps us remember Ella and bring joy to her memory.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Soon after Ella died, we thought about what we were going to do, and at some point we thought maybe we can spend our effort getting involved with the law and trying to change laws, but that just didn't sound nearly as much fun as what we do now, which is trying to find ways to help children be happy. And it is a lot of fun. It's super rewarding. It's fun to have our kids around us and to have the students of River Bluff around us as we try to find opportunities to bring happiness to other people.